Hey, everybody. I like that Big just came in. He's the only person on the planet who can get me in a tie and a jacket. That's it. Most of you guys who, anybody who's ever seen me talk, I'm a t-shirt and jeans kind of guy, but I wanted to dress up for Rich, and I want to make sure the picture's still up there. Yep. I didn't have an official headshot until just a couple of days ago. So the one on the right or the one on the left is my Facebook picture, and then the other one is my new official portrait. Let's start off by thanking you guys for having me down here. It's one of the biggest honors that I've ever had, being able to come down and spend some time with you. We've done breakout sessions at the last 3 international conventions, and we've got picked for Calgary. So if you're going to Calgary, see Big Rich with his white hat on out there, and make sure you get registered to come to Calgary, because it's going to be a hoot. What do you say, Rich? What do they do? Wahoo or something like that? Something like that. So make sure you see Big Rich outside and get registered for Calgary, because it's going to be a lot of fun. So, like I said, I'm just kind of like your everyday Rotarian. How many president-elects do we have in the room? Wow, I love it. Yes, definitely. The whole thing started, everybody says, how did you get started in how did you get started in doing what you do? And I tell everybody that I got mad at Rotary. And everybody here is kind of shrinking in the seats, taking a look around, seeing if anybody here is from Rotary. But how many people have ever heard the saying, if everybody just brought one person to Rotary, we'd solve all our membership problems? Did you hear that? Raise your hand. Come on, this is interactive, guys. Yeah. Does it work? Nope, it hasn't worked for 30 years, and it's not going to work for the next 30 years. But I was feeling a little frisky back in 2018, and everybody's like, hey, bring one person. So I started thinking, I was taking it seriously, and I was like, if anybody in my family is a Rotarian, it's got to be my wife. We've been married going on 29 years now, but she's a kindergarten teacher. So she gets to wrestle 25 kindergartners around all day, and then she's got to come home and deal with me. So I think her middle name is Saint. I proposed her to my club, and they said that they wanted to talk with me a couple weeks later. Actually, it was like 3 weeks later, and they told me that they wouldn't be able to admit her for membership. And I was like, why? And they said, well, she can't come to the meetings. I said, well, we meet.
It's okay.
I was about to start preaching, guys. I'm sorry about that. I was like, the Lord is talking to me. Let's go. She's, they said she can't come to the meetings. And I said, well, we meet Fridays at noon. She's teaching. And they said, I'm sorry, maybe she can join the Breakfast Club. And in the back of my mind, I started just kind of getting a little bit angry and saying, man, here we are. This is a club that lost 99 members in 12 years. 99 members in 12 years. They went down from 146 down to 47 people. And here they are, putting a good candidate, sending them someplace else. And I was like, wow, that just doesn't make sense. But I took the bait and said, hey, what time do they meet? And they said 7:45 in the morning. Perfect. And I said, she's a teacher. She's in school. We can't do this. And the next response is what set me on my journey. And this is, I'm standing here, right now. Their next response was, she should just start a new club then. And I just couldn't believe it. So right then, about that time, they started really mixing it up with cause-based clubs, that's innovative club models. That stuff just came out. So I was bound and determined to show what the deal was. And I was going to do an educators club. That made sense, right? We're going to do an educators club for all the teachers and educator adjacent that couldn't come into the club. But when I started looking at the numbers, I said, there's only 1,400 in my whole county. And further recruitment wasn't really good. So I decided that I was going to go ahead and start really thinking about what Rotary meant to me, how I saw Rotary, and it boiled down to service. I know we're a membership organization that does service, but how many people here had their Rotary moment at a service project? Yeah, I mean, we remember those times. And if you ask 100 people, do you think it's the price you should pay for living in the community to give back to the community through service? 99.9% of the people would say yes. And then all you have to do is say, can I show you a way that you can do it at your own pace and own time? So service is what really kind of rallied this, and I started what we call the first Impact Club, which are people that are going to serve our club, our community, and Rotary, just doing service. But I wanted to make sure that we were taking care of our home club, okay? So not just creating a club for the sense of creating a club. So what we did is we created what you guys would call a satellite club of our club. And we put on 79 members in our first year, just pitching service. It blew up from there. So here we are 6 years later, as we've helped start over 200 clubs worldwide. It's crazy, just helping people. We go through a 4-step process to help people build up our existing clubs. Who here believes that Rotary has the greatest service organization, the network that we have worldwide? Who here believes it's the greatest of all time? I mean, really, we are. And we need to act like that. Now, this is something that I'm going to say to you guys. Rotary, anybody here see the video, Anytown, USA? Anybody see that? You saw it, right? Yeah. They always put me on right after that. You know, they do. And it's our most successful video in Rotary history. And I'm like, don't really listen to that, you know? But they always love put me at the end, because my job for you is to help you build up your existing club. How many people, we saw all the hands in the PEs here, how many people here have a trend of their club membership going down? Raise your hand. How many people want to reverse that trend and make it go back up? I am telling you right now from the stage, this average guy who got mad at Rotary and put a plan in place that's helped 200 clubs worldwide do this, that you can do it. I'm not going to show you a PowerPoint. Say, darn. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about how we can put this in place, okay? So, but first we're going to be a little interactive, because I want to kind of show you guys something. This will work if I get down off the stage, right? Okay. Well, I'm going to get down off the stage, and Rich is going to have a heart attack here in a second. Hey guys, could you stand up real quick? Can everybody here stand up for a second? You guys too. Come on, stand up. You guys? Come on. You guys? Now, if I can count, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey, how about you guys right over there? Everybody up there stand up? You guys come with me real quick. Come on. Everybody follow on down. We're moving. We're moving. We're moving. We're just going to gather right over here real quick. Look at all my friends. I love this. No, yeah, that's it. I'm going to be like Oprah in a second. You get a car. You get a car. Come on over here. Hey, we've got cake over here too, so really what I'm doing is getting you first dibs on cake, okay? All right. Now, everybody just kind of get it over here and look back this way. I'm not a doom and gloom guy. I am a hope. We can do this. But I want you to take a look at everybody that's over there. Great Rotarians. Anybody in there been in Rotary over 5 years? Over 10 years? 15, 20, 25. Oh my, I'm not even going to, because I'll be telling your age. All right, not hard. That's good. That's all right. Give me a round of applause. Since 2015, January of 2015 to January 2025, those people left your club. That amount of people. Now look in the room right here. It seems a little empty, right? 1 in 5 Rotarians over the past decade have left your club, right? Why are they leaving your club? People go engagement, people say this, people say that. I'm going to tell you why I think people are leaving the club. But how do we get you guys back in Rotary? So I'm going to teach you that too, okay? Everybody have a seat. I appreciate you. Everybody, big round of applause. I kind of get some cake, so Very good. Thank you very much for doing that. So, what's the hot button here, guys? Grow, retain, right? We'll let everybody get back in their seats. They're mumbling under the breath here real quick.
Right in front of it. No feedback. He was on the stage a while ago.
All right.
Right in that spot where the subs coupled.
My man, I got to know how many years you've been in Rotary, sir. 42 years. Congratulations, sir. Give him a round of applause. He had that hand up like this. He knew he was in it for the long haul on those questions, man. He's been down that road before, so I love it. Okay, so everybody here, raise your hand if you've heard of Satellite Club. Cool. I love that. I go to a lot of places and half the people don't know what that is. Anybody here heard of a companion club? Raise your hand. Okay. All right, let me tell you something real quick. So after we started our club, okay, and I'm going to tell you what the difference of that is, but I got to kind of tell you how I got there. So after I started our club and we put those 79 new members in our club, I started getting calls from other clubs going, how do you do this? How do you do this? And I said, well, I'm more than happy to help you do it. And that started down this trend. Well, along about the third or fourth group that I was working with, the person that was really the champion of it said to me, my board, it has a problem with this. They want to ask you questions. I said, sure. So I got on the call with the board, and what they said to me was, they said, tell me how this works. And I said, well, it's and I got that far into the satellite word, and the guy cut me off right then and there. He said, we've tried a satellite club before and it didn't work. I was like, okay, so here I am trying to overcome that objection. The next group I work with, I was almost in that same position, and they said, you know, Bob down the street had a problem with his satellite club, or its Rotary Light, and all these other wonderful things. And I couldn't get to the real objection without having to overcome that. So one day I was just sitting there talking to the club, trying to overcome those objections, and I said, this is not like that. This is a companion club. This club is a companion of yours, and it's meant to stay with the home club. And instantly that kind of took off. It was a little bit of a softer word. Satellite kind of, you know, means that club over there. How many people here think, first thought when they think of a satellite club is the satellite club gets 8 members, they grow up to be 20, they break away and form a new club. That's what most people think, right? Well, that's not the case. But I couldn't overcome that one term. So I started calling it a companion club, and it worked. I was able to get to the real objections and help people down the path to go ahead and getting this done. Neat little story about that. Do we have any Rotary reps in the room? Yeah, okay. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I got a call from Rotary International in October before Melbourne. Anybody here go to the Melbourne convention? It was great. Long flight, but great. And in October before then, I got a call that said, we'd like for you not to use the word companion. It's not a program. You know, we here and legal have been talking, and as soon as they say we here and what? Yeah, you just go, whoop. And so they say, we'd like you to stop using that. And I didn't know what to say, because I was finally on a roll. I was able to find something that took down that barrier and allowed me to get in and talk to the clubs. So I said the only thing that came to my mind was, no thank you. And I don't know why that came out. But she said, excuse me? And I said, no thank you. And she said, okay. And I said, okay. And we hung up the phone. About 20 minutes later, now you guys got to remember, I mean, that picture that was up there, the Darth Vader picture, I promise you, that was me. I mean, that was me. I was that guy that they were throwing darts at. And about 10 or 15 minutes later, I get a call from a former RC who's my mentor in membership. And he said, what did you do? I said, what do you mean, what did I do? He said, what did you say to the person who called you from Rotary? And I said, well, let me tell you what I said. And I told him exactly what I told you. I said I was very polite. I even said, no, thank you. And he said, well, Ryan King and our director want to speak with you. And I was like, sure, no problem. When? And he started laughing. He goes, now. I was like, oh, okay, I'm being summoned. So we get on the call, and I tell that story to tell you this, because it's the first time I ever met Ryan King. He's your director of membership worldwide. If you ever get a chance to listen to this man talk, you got to. He is absolutely amazing, and he will listen to you, because I was bent and determined when he said, tell me what's going on. Tell me why you can't do this request. Why is this causing a little consternation up here? Tell me why. And I told him exactly what I told you. I don't need another barrier, a simple, silly barrier to help start these clubs. And instantly he said, I agree with you. I've never heard that before. And him and Jeremy, our director at that time, in Zone 33, 34, started talking back and forth, and I'm like, am I needed anymore on this call? And they said, we don't know how we're going to do it, but we're going to do something about this. And I was landing in Melbourne, and you know how when your phone gets kicked back on you, here's your text and here's your emails, and they're coming flooding through, and there was a text from Brian King. He said, check your email. I checked my email, and they added companion clubs in the definition of satellite clubs. I tell you that right now because it was probably one of the proudest days that I've had. Because we took this gigantic ship, and you know how long it takes to change a gigantic ship. And in a little over 2 or 3 years, it's now in the lexicon. Mario uses it in his speech talking about companion clubs at IA. Who went to IA this year? Fantastic. You guys got to hear John Hugo talk about not just companion clubs, but impact companion clubs. So little less than 2 years ago, they were telling me that I couldn't use it, and now our folks up in Rotary International do that. So I'm telling you this because I'm the least of us on the Rotary side. I didn't do a lot in Rotary when I was a member. I mean, I went to my service projects and I did that, but right now, if I can do that and help and find that purpose to help other clubs, you guys have no problem growing your club next year. Zero. Okay? Zero problems growing your club this year. And I don't care if you don't want to add a satellite or a companion or anything like that. You can grow your clubs, and that's what we're going to do together. And guess what? We're going to do it with you. You don't have to be alone. How many people right now have an idea in the back of their head that something that they want to do next year, but they think maybe their board might think they're crazy or anything like that? Anybody got any of that stuff? Yeah, right? You're like, should I say it out loud? Yes, you should, and you should stand up and say, I think this is a good idea, and let's move forward doing it. And if we splat against the wall, we'll be like Wile E. Coyote. We'll just pop ourselves together and keep on going quickly, okay? So I started helping clubs do this, and I started booking with them. We created a 4-step process, like I said at the beginning. But I'm going to steal a little bit of Brian Hall's thunder, who's, guys, your director coming in. I mean, Beth Stubbs is wonderful as director, and it's going to continue next year in just this most magnificent way with Brian Hall being your director. You guys get to hear him speak tomorrow. But I wrote up a proposal with Rotary International for some help because it's gotten very big at what we do. And about 2 weeks ago, Brian Hall, Beth Stubbs, and the rest of the North American directors voted unanimously to form the North American Club Creation Team. And we're going to be able to help you with anything that you want to do. Companion, satellite, cause-based Rotaract, community-based Rotaract, Interact, anything that you guys want to do in your club. All you will have to do is book a meeting, sit down with one of the specialists that we have, and we will walk you through the process to do it. You don't even have to do the paperwork because we do that all automated on the thing. Now, how many people love doing paperwork? Yeah, I'm telling you. So that's where we're at. This is actually the first time that I announced it publicly, so I just kind of just spoke it into existence there. But we're really excited about it. So right now I'm going to kick off and stop just a second. And in lieu of that, in lieu of PowerPoint, let's have a little bit of a conversation. How many people have a question that's companion club versus satellite club, anything about membership? Let's talk. Come on now. Y'all? Yo? Yes? Whoa. Hold on. Can I use this microphone, sir?
Yeah.
We can use this microphone. Harrison, can you come here? Oh, we got to do this. He told me, this is my son, by the way, Harrison, and he said, if you call me out in front of these people, it's going to be in trouble.
That's okay.
He's got better hair than me, so I had to.
Well, my question, you mentioned the word college. How does it work, or when you talk about the companion clubs, the college? My son is in school. This is his first year. I have a daughter. This is her third year. And they have questions about the Rotary. And I'm in Memphis, Tennessee. I'm part of the Germantown Club. Go Germantown. Woo, woo, woo. Okay, but Rose College, my son there, he started different clubs when he was with St. George at his school. Things had got started and moved on. And so now he's asking about Rotary for Rose College. So I wonder, what does that look like, or who do I need to speak to kind of get more questions about that?
Well, I love that. I love that question. I really appreciate it. Now, let me ask you a question. The college that he goes to, is it in your community by your Rotary Club?
Yes.
Okay, well, that's fantastic. So there's a couple of ways that we can go with that. We can start a Rotary Club there, right? We could start a Rotary Club there if we wanted to. But let me give you another idea. What happens if your club formed a companion club that was around service and invited these people that are at that club or at that college to come serve with you, be members of your club? That way, you're going to be networking with the people that they're going to be working with later on in life, you start building up your home club. All those members that go into a companion club count towards the home club's membership. They count towards, so if you we formed a companion club and attached it to your club. If we put 20 people in there, your club's numbers are plus 20. So there's a lot of different ways that you can do that. But when you book a meeting with us, we sit down with you. And I like to say this because it really is true. Whatever you dream up, we can do. Whatever you dream up for your club, whatever you want for your club, we can do that. It doesn't have to be an impact club. It doesn't have to be a young entrepreneurs club or an alternative time club or whatever like this. If you say, man, my friend right over there who raised his hand when I said, who here has got a crazy idea? Whatever you dream up for your club, we're going to get done. So I'd love to talk to you about that and give you a couple different options, and we can start exploring. But that's that whole thing. You get to pop down and sit down and talk with somebody who's done this. You know, a group of people who've done this. And we're going to walk you through it, help you design what it is that you want. And then we do the paperwork, and you guys concentrate on this. So it's a really neat process. I love that question, man, and I'd love to hear from you because I think that's a very unique situation. Who else got questions? Yes, sir. He's coming right here, sir. I apologize.
He's going to call our attention to it.
Okay, he was just kind of moved in from the subject matter.
I really like the idea, and but I come from a small club, 44 members, and I love the idea of a club, companion club that does service only. We're in a small community. How do we keep engaging? I'm assuming we will mentor that club. How do we keep engaging them with enough service projects to be viable?
I love that question, and here's the best job in Rotary, besides Big Rich's job. The best job in Rotary is a companion club chair. It's the best job. I'll give you an example. I'm sitting there, anybody sit there watch the game on a Sunday, and somebody, your spouse, might want to be talking with you during a very important drive going down to, so I'm sitting there on the couch, and my wife comes up and she's like, I've got an idea. Don't tell her I'm doing her, okay? I'll be in real trouble. So she's like, I've got, and I'm like, great, that's fantastic. And I'm trying to, left eye's looking at that, right eye's looking at her, and she's like, we want to do this, and this is what we want to do with our student teachers because we don't have a big enough supplement. I was listening, I caught on a little bit of that. And so we feel like if we engage them and tell them and love them, that they'll come and choose us after they graduate. And this is what we want to do. And she was going on, and I said, when she got done, you hear that pause, and you know that they're done.
Do you have that?
And I said, that's great. Quick question, does it cost us any money? Nope. Does it follow the four-way checks? Yep. Will it help people in our community? Yep. What are you even asking me for? Put that project out there, people will come and deliver. So I'm going to drill down a little bit more on that, because that is one of the questions that we get a lot. We have the 20 biggest objections that I've written down over the course of the last 5 years. And there's a lot of clubs that say, how do I handle? We can barely handle the service that we have. If we bring on 50 people, oh my gosh, how am I going to keep them busy? We can barely do the stuff that we're doing now. You don't have to. These people that you're recruiting are already doing the work themselves. They're already out there. They're waiting for a flag to fly. Why did you come to Rotary? We wanted to serve a higher purpose than what we were doing here. Could you do volunteer work by yourself? Could you do volunteer work by yourself? Why did we join Rotaries? Because we wanted a higher purpose. We want to fly that flag. So these people do too. We just need to give them the opportunity. So one of the things that really transformed to me, you guys probably been taught and heard, don't invite them to a meeting, a prospect to a meeting, invite them to a service project, right? You guys have heard that? No. Goodness gracious. Okay. I take it a little bit further. When I'm talking with somebody, if they're a Rotarian and somebody that I want to recruit to Rotary, they're already doing the work. So I find out what they do. And I say, what do you do? And this happened, so I'm going to tell this. I said, what do you do for your service? And he's like, I donate my time at the Humane Society. I said, that's fantastic. I love dogs. You love dogs? We love dogs. Isn't it great? We're on common ground. I said, what do you do? And he said, well, we don't have a spay and neutering in our area, so we have this nonprofit that comes in. We come in, we get all the doggos ready to go, and packaged up to go, get picked up to go get their spay and neutering. And I said, that's fantastic. And I said, if I got 3 or 4 people together, can we come do service with you? And that's where it switched for me, because they looked at me and went, what? I said, yeah, we're looking for other things. Can we come do service with you? They think in their mind right then and there that we're not just trying to get you to come do our stuff. That we're interested in what you do. And I can't even tell you how much time, how many times that the home club goes, oh my gosh, we had no idea there was a need for that. And they come over and they get invited to everything, and they come over and do service like that. It's a whole lot easier to recruit when you're during that aspect. So the projects you don't have to worry about, because they will bring them, they will do them, and service doesn't cost money. So but we encourage small group and individual service. We do, some of the most successful companion clubs will meet. They usually meet in a little bit like a social. They'll meet at a social to do one big group project, and then they'll encourage the other 2 times to be individual and small group projects. So keeping them engaged is not the issue. These will be some of the 7 out of the top 10 people in my district for volunteer hours come out of our club, because they just go and do the work, and because they're already doing it. Great question, though, sir. Anybody else? We've got some more questions. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I just need clarity.
Okay.
Do y'all hear me? Can you hear me? I'm from District 6800, and I'm the District Road Rapid Interact Chair. Yes, and I love it.
I love it.
So, you were talking, and here's my question.
Okay.
What I heard, she's in our district as well, so when she was asking the question about what I go to, my son is at Rhodes, I know the answer to what she said. But my concern and my question is, when you start to invite her to call you, so what's my job? I just want clarity. We work together. Look, I just want clarity because we're working, with Rotaract in terms of trying to grow it. I do have some issues between the community programs and the school programs. I get frustrated when we got all this duplication of work. If you're going to make my job easier, I'm loving it. If you're going to make it harder, I got a problem. So I just want want to talk because we're working hard to build our Rotary programs and done a lot of great work.
I love it.
This school that she's referring to, they were terminated after COVID. A lot of our schools died after that. So we've been trying to get them back off the ground. So I'm glad to hear we've got somebody that's willing to take the lead to move in that direction.
That's
so
great.
Tell me what you're going to tell her, because I need to hear it too.
I love it. I love that. That's a fantastic question right there. Everybody who books with us, the DMC, the Rotaract chair, the district governor line, they all get invited to the meetings. So they can come on and participate in the conversation. I'm working with District 6910 in Georgia, and they all get those. They all get the invitations to come to step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. They come sometimes, they don't come sometimes. So all of it is just starting a discussion. That's all it is. We'll create anything, we'll help create anything from Rotaract all the way through regional service organizations to impact clubs to companion clubs to anything that's out there. We don't want to duplicate the work, we just want to get it done. I'm going to give you a number. North America is huge, right? North America is a big space. Right now there's only 421 satellite or companion clubs in North America. It's the #1 tool that Rotary has in its tool belt to grow, and we're not using it. And we have had some leadership before that just throw it out there. We're the do-it kind of people. So if we want a Rotary Club there, when we decide and we discuss and everything like this, I just help facilitate that to help move it forward and getting it done. We help with the paperwork so you can help recruit, help them more on the ground. Doing that sort of thing, recruiting and doing those types of things, putting that together. We just help with facilitating, getting it going and getting it started. How many people have ever had a plan that they wanted to do something in a Rotary Club? Raise your hand if you've had something that you wanted to do in your Rotary Club. Golly, guys, come on. Everybody in here is a Rotarian has wanted to do something in a Rotary Club, right? How many times it get done? It doesn't get done because we don't get started. All this does is get you started. And ma'am, I look forward to working with you. Look at her, she's scanning it already. She is booking a time. Let's go. That's it. Let's go. That's all we got to do. So that goes back to whatever you dream you can do, you can get done. Sir.
How do you differentiate the due structure?
Remember when I was telling you, he said, how do you differentiate the due structure? Remember I was telling you guys right before that I've over 5 years, I've written down the top 20 objections and how I overcome them. Number 1 is money. Number 2 through 20 says something else, but it's disguised as money. It always comes back down to that. I mean, that is exactly what we're trying to, that's the biggest objection that I have to do. I don't tell anybody what to do. We facilitate that discussion. I give best practices. I will talk with you about marketing strategies. Okay, like when I first started mine, they said, how much are you going to charge? And I said, well, how much does it cost? And that was a journey. It took like 2 weeks to get an exact answer of exactly how much it costs. This is exactly what Rotary International costs. Great. Oh, we forgot there's insurance on top of that. Oh, we forgot there's a magazine on top of that. You know what I mean? So I finally was able to get a good number there. Then I called my district governor and said, how much is Rotary district dues? And he told me. And I added it up. And it came to about $130. Now remember, this is 5 or 6 years ago, okay? So I said, okay, we're going to do 180. And they said, that's it? And I said, yeah. We don't have a place to, we don't have to rent a place. We don't have to pay for food. You know, we can do that. $50 doesn't sound like a lot of money, but when it's like 80 people, pretty decent coin there. All right. So, but the reason why I picked that number is because it's how much a month? Some math wizards in here. It's $15 a month. And that's what I would say when I was talking to people. I'd say, hey guys, you know, it's $180, it's $15 a month, it's the cost of Netflix. That's what I would say, and now we all know that the cost of Netflix is way more than that, so I have to come up with a different line. Most of the clubs that we do, we'll do anywhere from $240, which is $20 a month. It was the cost of Netflix 3 years ago. Most of them now are doing $300 a year, which is 25. I had a club call me and say, we're doing this, it's so awesome, we've already got the due structure ready to go, we're gonna do 262. And I went, no. They said, why? I said, you can do what you want, but either do 240 or 300. They said, why? I said, because $21.67 a month is not sexy. You know what I mean? It just, you can't market that. It's like, it's 20 bucks a month, it's 25 bucks a month. We have clubs that do, you know, and that $20 to $25 a month deal is a really good thing for a companion, like a service companion. But all different clubs are different. You know what I mean? You guys might design something where, you know, you want to go ahead and prepay socials or anything like that. So we're just going to talk about that. We help you put it in place. We don't let it get bogged down in committee. You know what I mean? We just keep trying to advance this forward as much as we possibly can. So the money question, great question. It's determined, sir, by the club, by the home club, with just a little bit of, you know, talking it out about best practices. We just had a club in downtown Orlando that is a couple $100 higher than that. So it all depends on where you're at, what you can sell, what your due structure is, that sort of thing. But that's going to be your toughest part on this deal. Okay? Sir?
So if you have a community that is not currently served by a Rotary Club,
Yeah.
they don't have 20 people to form their own club, but they like the idea of being a companion club. Is there a way for that group of individuals to find a sponsor club to become a companion to?
We help you do that. Isn't it? That's a great thing. I mean, that's a great possibility. Why wouldn't we do that? We just helped a district governor call me from 7305. They had a club that wanted to turn in their charter. 9 members. They've been president like 17 times, I think, each. You know, they're like, we're done. This is not like the Rotary that we wanted to be in, or spending all the time trying to find out who's going to be president next year. And I do get that, you know what I mean? We don't want to turn in charters. We don't want to do anything, but we want them to have a great Rotary experience, and we want them to thrive. So he asked me what we should do, and I said, is there another club in town? Yep. We talked to the other club in town, and we said, hey, can we make them a companion of yours, operate still, because these guys, they did great projects, they raised great money for their community, gave scholarships out. Do you mind if we do that and let them operate like that? And they're like, absolutely. So now that home club gets the credit for these members. These people get to serve the way that they want to. And because we've freed that group has grown from 9 to 16 in 4 months. You know what I mean? Because now all of a sudden they don't have the stress, they don't have the pressure, they can just go out and do good. And when you're out there doing good and having fun, excitement breeds excitement, and that's exactly what people want to do. You know what I mean? You never know. I'm going to tell you this real quick, all right? What constitutes a service project? Does it have to be 20 people? Does it have? No, it doesn't. It can be an individual. So anybody here do individual service? Anybody here do service outside of Rotary? Raise your hand. You're Rotarians. Every single one of you do, right? When's the last time you wore your shirt, your hat, your cape, your pin, whatever you got, and taken a picture, a little selfie, at that board meeting, at the PTA meeting, at the ball field? You're coaching T-ball. Is that service to your community? Yes, it is. Take that picture, send it into your public image chair, let them post that. It's not what our clubs do, it's what our Rotarians do. Everybody here in every club, we've done it to ourselves, me included. We paint ourselves into what I call the 4 corners, right? We're known for the bike race in the spring, the golf tournament in the fall, backpacks in the summer, Christmas party in the winter, right? Or along those lines. That's what we've let our community believe that that's what we do. That's the reason why right across the street here, in the elevator coming down with Harrison, coming down the elevator, lady looks over at me and her husband and she goes, what is Rotary? And I gave the real elevator pitch right over there in the elevator. So what constitutes it? Okay, so if you do that, if you practice that, and send that in, not only does that nonprofit that you're working for get tagged, your club gets tagged, you get tagged, and if you're smart, you send it to the district because they're starving for content too. Now all of a sudden you've got 4 posts. I promise you, if you do that for 90 days, you won't have to recruit anymore. Because people are going to start calling you and going, I had no idea you guys did Habitat. I had no idea you guys did the Humane Society. I had no idea. And you know what I always say? A lot of our Rotarians do. Can I sign up to go with them the next time? That's how it works. Excitement breeds excitement, folks. And we've got to start shining a light on what all Rotarians do, not just what our Rotary clubs do. That's what helps. Okay? Yep, I'm going to tell them right now because I guess I'm getting played off.
Yeah, that's me.
I've got an Oscar. You like me. You really need to stop playing. QR code right up here, guys. It's been up for a little bit. This is just to continue a conversation, a little one-on-one. That's all it is. You get on there, you book a little bit of time. You say, hey man, this is the situation in my club. This is what I'd like to do, or what would you suggest? Or can you help us? Or can we pick your brain a little bit on stuff? That's all that is. It's just a little casual conversation. That's all it is. Love to work with you guys. Can't wait to work with you guys. I'm already working with some of the folks that are here. I do get to speak tomorrow. Everybody grown. And we're going to go into how a companion club can help you grow and how you can use a companion club to keep members in your club. That's the very important part, so you won't want to miss that. That's the nuts and bolts of how this stuff works, okay? All right, well, I certainly appreciate everybody. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.